Right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So let's start today's class. Today we will working on to encrypt our password. Right. So in a real company, we are not gonna directly store the user password in the database. Instead, we will firstly encrypt that into another format, then store that in the database. That's going to guarantee that if anyone hacks into our database, they still cannot know the user's password. Right? And also, it will make sure the developers in the company has no right to log in with user's password. So even we do not have no idea what is user's password in the database, because they are all encrypted. Today we will start to encrypt it. Right? Let me increase the font size, and we're gonna start here.
You just said that when the user puts in his password
Yeah.
and presses enter,
Yes.
the client side sends it to the server side converts it,
Yes.
and then sends it to the database.
Yes.
The database, when the user goes to sign back in, the database tells the server, here, this is the encrypted one, and the server says, okay, now revert it back to the client side readable name.
Well, it's not exactly like that. So when the first part is correct. When the user registers a new account, they create the password, and then we send the password and username to the server side, and this server will encrypt it and store that in database. But that kind of encrypt is not reversible. You cannot revert it back to the original password.
Okay.
And when the user tries to log in, they're going to provide a username and password, send that to server. Server will encrypt that password using the exactly same way we used when we register the user. Then we compare the two encrypted passwords, see if they are the same.
So the server itself has to be a sort of database?
Nope.
Because it has to remember how it encrypted that particular password.
Nope.
No?
You don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to. So think about it this way. So register. Right.
Right.
So the client send out the username and password, right? Username and the password.
Right.
Send it to the server. And the server, it will do one thing before store to the database. It's going to encrypt it. So we will have the regular username and the encrypted password, or you can call it a hash. We use some hash to store that password. So right now it's no longer a password; it's a hash. It's an encrypted password, right?
Okay.
And we store that into the database. Right. This is stored in the database.
Okay.
And when we log in, we're getting the username and the password from the user.
Right.
Right. We'll send that to the server. And the server will convert that password into another hash again. So user and hash. And it's gonna directly comparing this with the previous hash, see if these two are matched. So we never directly compare the password. We always, like some password come here to the server, we encrypt it and then compare it with the one in the database. So this is why we never need to remember the old password.
So the server sees the password again and knows to do exactly the same thing to it, to encrypt it the exact same hash.
Yeah, the way we encrypt it is the same. So if you give me the same password, I encrypt it, and the encrypted version password should be exactly the same.
So if I have 111 as my password, the server knows, okay, 111, I do this to it. So every time it sees 111, it does that to it.
Right. So let's give an exactly example here. If I send Alice to the server, and the server gonna transfer that into Alice, like a 1, 2, B, A, C, 2,
Right.
7, something like that.
Right.
And when you try to log in, if you give me the wrong password, for example, if you give me Alice Bob, and when the server tries to enhance it, sorry, when the server tries to encrypt it, it will become Alice and something other than that, maybe 2B, C, A, and 1, 2, 3, something like that.
Doesn't match.
That match, so it cannot log in. But if the user gives Alice, and then when we're trying to encrypt it, it's always going to be the exact same password. It's always going to be 1, 2, B, A, C, 2, 7. But there is no way you can convert 1 to B, A, C, 2, 7 back to Alice. No one can do that. There's an algorithm behind it. Right. And like whatever time we try to log in, we'll transfer your password like into that, and we just compare the encrypted version.
So every time it sees Alice, it does the same thing to it. Every time it sees Bob, it does the same thing to it. Every time it sees Alligator, it does the same thing to it.
Yep. Yep. Let's do it together.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The logic is that. So it's actually not really hard. So let's start our database, start our server, start our client, and start working on it. So MongoD to start the Mongo database. npm run. Node man server. And npm start. Right, runs everything. Right. So meanwhile it is running, let's install the libraries we're going to use to encrypt our password. So library we're using is called this one, bcrypt.js. bcrypt.js. This is a library help you to encrypt your password. Right. So they also provide the how to use it here. Right. To hash a password, to check a password. Right. So we're going to hash it every time when we register or log in, and then when we log in, we also need to comparing it. Right? It's actually very easy to use. So let's npm install bcrypt.js. I think it's a name for it. I also have that inside my assignment requirement, which is here. Right? npm bcrypt.js. This one here. bcrypt.js. Right, install that. Alright, let's see. Okay, the server and the client are running, and the installation is finished. Alright, we can start it. Of course, we're going to go to the user part about services. So we're going to use the server folder file to modify the login and the register inside here. Alright, so let's firstly import require that library we just installed. So after that, constant bcrypt is equal to require bcrypt.js. Right, bcrypt.js. We import that library. And let's check our assignment requirement here. Constant, yeah, that's the first one. And to encrypt the password, we need to generate a sort. Let's say where we need to encrypt the password. Let's generate a sort there. So to encrypt password, we need to generate a sort. We can just put it right here. Let's just put it here. Generate a sort. So the code for that, according to their library inside here, it is sort is equal to bcrypt generate sort 10, like that. So we can do constant sort is equal to bcrypt generate sort sync 10. So the sort is kind of like a mechanism of that is just used to encrypt your password. And the number 10 here is this number can be changed, but the default is 10. The bigger the number is, the more secure your password is. But it also takes longer time to encrypt the password. So if you make like 100, yes, it will be more secure, but it just takes more time to generate the encrypted version of password. All right, so 10 is, I think, is good enough. Just keep it at 10. All right, generate the sort, and we're going to use this sort to encrypt the password. And it's looking for the register and login. Those are the places we need to encrypt the password. Let's first take a look of the register. Register is here. Register. I'm going to erase the comments here. So when we do the register here, it says user equal to request the body, and the data it's just directly stored data into the database. Right? Before we store that, like in the middle, we're getting the user from request the body, and let's encrypt the password here. Encrypt user password. Right? So let's checking the libraries here. It says to hash it, it's going to be bcrypt the hash sync. Let's copy that. So we want to encrypt the user's password. So it's actually going to be user. The password is equals to the function of that is called bcrypt the hash sync. Right? Bcrypt the hash sync. And it takes two things. First thing is the password you want to encrypt, which is user the password, the old password, and also it takes the sort we just generated. Using the sort to encrypt it. So we just rewrite the password into the encrypted version of password. Alright, so let's do a console log here. So let's see what's going on here. Let's console log out the user's password. How do I do that? Yeah. Console log let's console log the user password. User.password. See if that is encrypted. Actually, we can just console log the user, see what we have in the user. And then we'll store the user information inside the database. Alright, let's try it out. So let's go back to the website. Here. Let's try to register a new user, see what's going on here. So username here, I'm going to put let's say a pop, P-O-P. And same thing for actually you need to request more characters. So let's put Urban League admin, password Urban League admin, ULEM admin, ULEM admin. Right, let's try that. Register. Right, and it's checking the console. See what do I have here. You can see the password here. See that? It will be small, but that is the encrypted version of the password. Right? So it's not a Boolean admin. It's kind of like some random characters here. Now, if you're trying to log in, it won't allow you because when you're trying to log in, you're not transferring the password into the encrypted version to compare them. Boolean admin, it won't allow you to log in. It's going to tell you the password doesn't match. Right, so the password stored in the database right now is this encrypted version. We can check out database as well. Checking out database, I have the Mongo campus. I can also check it from the terminal. Right, in the campus, I can check it. So you can see the password in the database is no longer the real password. It's encrypted version. Give it a second. Right, meanwhile, let's also rewrite the login to make it work. Yeah, I think it's going to take some time to open it. So we'll just change the register to encrypt it. Let's get rid of this console log. We don't need this console log here to check it. Let's go to the login. So every time when I log in, I'd like to encrypt to compare with the encrypted version of it. Right? So in the login with local strategy here, we are going to rewrite it a little bit. So this one, the first sentence here is trying to looking for the data inside the database has such username and password. And now we are going to rewrite it a little bit. Let me see. So instead of looking for the one has a username and the password, we are going to only looking for the one has such username and then just comparing its password. Right, so this one we're not gonna using user defined user by credential here. Instead, we are going to just using find user by username. Looking for if we have such username, right? If we have such username, then we check if this data and the password is matched. Right? We're checking the username first, then we're checking the password. We're checking into like in two steps. First, checking username. Okay. Check if user name exists in database, right? And then we check if password is matched. So we're gonna set data, and according to the libraries we have here, to check the password, we're gonna using a function called compare sync. Using compare sync. So here we're gonna do decrypt the compare sync, and comparing the it takes two values: the password you want to encrypt it and the password in the database. So here it takes this input password and the password in the database, which is coming from this data. So it's data dot password. Right. So this is the password user sent from client, and this is the password returned from the database. And if this one gives us true, we know the password also matches. So checking the username, then checking that user's password matches, and then we can see, okay, you're able to log in. Then also, I think we can connect this through here to checking the database password we have there. Right, so we make a database user object, a user collection. Inside here, looking for the, see, this is a new one we added. I cannot make it bigger, but you can see the password inside here is not ULM admin anymore. It's just something encrypted, right? And let's also go ahead and test if we can log in with that right now. So let's go back here to login. Right now, if I try ULM admin, try to log in, and it works. I can log in. No. Right? But so there is a one thing, like because there are still passwords in our database, they were not encrypted. Like the Bob, Alice, Charlie, Shiyu, their passwords are not encrypted. So right now, if you're trying to log in with their account, it's not gonna work because their password is not encrypted. So if you say Alice, and won't allow you to log in because Alice, the old Alice, so it's going to encrypt this Alice password, and to comparing the looking for the encrypted version Alice in our database, but it's not encrypted anyway in our database. Right, so the two ways to solve it: either you manually encrypted all the password inside it by yourself, or you can just add in another if cases here. Right, so you can see else if data and this password is equals to data the password. Right, if they're not encrypted, well, temporarily we're gonna allow them to log in, but eventually we're gonna ask it to re-encrypt all their password. So if their password existing in your database are not encrypted, you still want to allow them to log in, you can temporarily ending this one here. So if data and maybe just directly compare their password. If that's true, we'll still allow them to log in. Let's try it. So if we try right now, we try to Alice login, and it's not working. What?
Spell password wrong.
Let's spell password wrong. Oh yeah, triple S here. Password. Try it again. Alice, login, and it works. Alright, still allows you to log in. It's going to go to the second case. The first case doesn't match, go to the second case to directly checking if the two passwords are equal. And later we can force them to encrypt their password. Actually, we can just do it here. So if this case matches, let's just encrypt the password here, so we can see. So check this one is, so the second case here is check if users if this user's password hasn't been encrypted, and we can encrypt it here. And so we'll still allow them to log in, but we also want to encrypt their password. Encrypt their password. We still want to encrypt the password here. So we're gonna encrypt it here. So to encrypt it, we're gonna have to say, let me see. Data the password is equals to, how do we encrypt it? This, we just did it here, right? Bcrypt sync, hash sync. Data the password is equal to that, right? And also let's store that into the database. So we're gonna do the user model what is that? Update user. Update user. The one we want to update with data with the such ID, and the one update it into the new data. I think this is how we created that in the model here. User model, update user. Update user just takes the user. Okay, so I don't need to give the ID, just takes the user, takes this data. Right, so we encrypt its password and re-update it to the database. Let's try it out. See if it's going to encrypt the password for Alice. So right now, if we check in the database here, the Alice password, let's refresh it. The password of Alice is not encrypted, right? Just Alice. Let's try to log in with Alice. Alice. It allows me to log in. I hope so. I'm getting an error here. User is not defined in line 41 here. Oh, it should be data the password, not user password. Don't have user password anymore because it's called data here. Let's try it again. Refresh. Alice, login. Right, it allows me to log in, and hopefully it also re-encrypted the Alice password in the database. It's checking it. So let's refresh this database. Actually, it's not. What? It's not encrypted. Huh. Why not? Right, let me console.log data. Check it here. See what is going on here. Alright, so try it again. Log out. Alice, login. Yeah, we have its password encrypted, and then we use the user model update to update it. Does update actually work? This counts. Actually, it's gonna return something. Let me see. Update user. Looking for the ID equal to user ID, and update to user. It should work. Right. Let's make this asynchronous. I think maybe this one returns too fast, so the user model update isn't finished yet. This is async. Let's put a wait here. I'll wait for this one to finish first. Right. Get rid of the console log. Let's see if that will gonna work. Try it again. So Alice login. All right, and let's check the database. Does it encrypt it? Refresh it. Yeah, so the Alice password is encrypted. But it's no longer Alice. It's something else, right? And it's, so as a user logging again, and their password is going to be encrypted one by one. Right. So like for example, this logging as Bob, and once Bob logged in, okay, his password is encrypted. All right. So check here, his password is encrypted. Right. So this is a way like you can ask a user like they're gonna automatically encrypt the password one by one after the login. Right. So let me actually copy this one into the our assignment. So this is something like you do not have to rewrite it again and again. Like all the websites almost going to can use the same method because they have the same way to log in. The server side always going to be the same. All right. Yeah, that is how you encrypt the password. And the next thing we want to do today is to talk about the user management, to manage the user. So right now all the users are same. They all share the same functionality. And how do I separate the users into two different kind of roles or even more? Right. So right now we only have like a regular user. What if I also have one? How do I create administrator users, the main users? How do I create that? Right. To do that, so we actually want to rewrite the user schema here. So we actually want to add in another field here. They have username, first name, last name, email, data encrypted. Let's add in another one. I'll call the role. Right. This is a string. And this role going to tell us what is the role for this user. It can be a regular user. It can be an administrator. Right? We can even give it the enum here. So for example, I can say type is string, and enum is it can be either administrator or just a regular user. I think this is how we did that in the widget, right? We have the widget type, heading, image, or YouTube. In this one here, we have either admin or regular. All right. And we also want to give a default value. If a user just created their account, we want the default always be regular. I do not want them to create it as an administrator, right? So if they didn't provide any role, they're going to be regular. All right. So let's try it out. So if right now if I try to register a new user, I would just add let's say John 123, password is John123, John123. All right, register. Let's go ahead and check out database. So we have numbers here. Let's refresh it. The last one I have here, you can see it has a role which is regular, right? Which is regular.
And we actually want to manually create administrator. So inside here, we have a ULM admin. I want to make it as an administrator. So let's edit it. To edit it, I want adding one more field. How do I update? How do I add in one more? I think there's a plus button. Adding a field after decrypted. Yeah, so we're gonna say role. Your role here is admin. Right, update it. So now we have admin, and we have regular users. And so right now I want to create a button in the profile page. It's only available for the administrator users, and they can click that button. It's maybe called user management. They click on that, they're gonna see a separate page to see the list of users we have on this website. That button, I want to make it only available for the administrator. Let's go to the profile to create that button. Let's go to profile to create that button. So let's go to the source, components, user, profile. Let's go to profile, components, create that button. Let's make this screen smaller. Let me see. I want to make it after the logout. I want to create it here. So let's say button. Actually, I want to make it as a link. Link. Right. It says user management. Or just a manage user. Manage users. Manage users. And this button has a link to a page slash manage. Slash manage. So in my profile, I should be able to see that page there. Let me close this. So if I log in as any user, for example, just Alice, I should be able to see that button over there. You manage user. Right? Let's make it bigger. Style it a little bit. So let's say class name, BTN. Let's make it yellow warning, BTN block. Make it bigger, so add some class to it. So this is the main. Oops. Yeah, I need to log in again. Yeah. So the main user button. Right now it is available for everyone to see it, and I want to make it only available for the administrator. Right. So we need to check. So when the user logged in, we actually knows his username, email, first name, and last name. We also want to check his role. What's role of him? So let's say which function I need to change here. In component did mount. Here is where we're getting the user information. We have show user, set state, set all those things here. And we also want to set the role here. So in the state, let's also store the role for the user. Role for the user. We should just start from empty. And excuse me, sorry. In the show user here, set state, I also want to set the role of the user, right? So the role of the user, adding a role here. This user actually also need to add in a role here, right? So the role is from user role, and we're adding a role to the state. All right. On submit. No, don't need to change. Let's console log here. See what we have in for the role. Console.log in the render console log. The role. Actually, we're gonna see the role is from this state. Right, see if we have a role here. If we're logging as John123, John123, logging, and I'm getting a regular. Right? So log out, logging as Julian123, Julian123. It should be Julian admin, sorry. Julian admin, Julian admin. And I got an admin here. So I can get in a role of this user. Right? So now I'm checking if the role of this user is admin, then I show the button. Otherwise, do not show it. Right? Let's see. So back to here. this button, right? So we're gonna add a ternary operator to it. So let's say row question mark. If that is equals to admin, then we show this button, right? We should put this button inside it. Then we show this button. Else, we just show null. Right? So if row is admin, we show this button. Otherwise, just null. So now, if I log in as John123, John123, the button is not showing. If I log in as Julian123, sorry, Julian admin, I just put the Julian123 again. Julian admin, login, the button is showing. Right, the button is showing. And let's delete the console log. I don't really need the console log here, right? So now when the Julian admin clicks that button, actually, does it showing for Alice? Alice doesn't have a role. I think it should show as well. Yeah, doesn't show as well. So right now, if I go to Julian admin, right? So when he clicks this button, we actually want to bring him to a page, and shows a list of users here, and he can manage like what he want to do for each user here. Let's go ahead and create that page here. So for the user components, let's add in a new page, which is called user manage.js. User manage.js. Let's RCC generated this component. Here just says user manage. Just test it, alright? Just user manage. And we're gonna also add in this page into the this user manage should be capital M. User manage. This should be capital M. Right. And we also need to add in this page into the app.js, adding it to the route. Otherwise it's not gonna be able to be visible. So between the website and the profile, let's add it here. So route exact path is equal to /manage, and render props. This is user manage. Right. I just automatically imported it. Right. So if your doesn't work, you have to manually import this one here. Right. Import the user manage. I just press the tab to automatically import it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. User manage, and let's just keep going. Props, just exactly the same thing as the top one. And the way, do we need to log in? Yes, we do. Logged in is equal to, we want to check in if the user logged in, and we also want to check if the user logged in as administrator. So add it to there. I'm getting an error. User manage is not. It should be capital M here. Right. Now it works. Yeah, it's auto formatted for me. It shouldn't. Let me turn it off. I have an auto format opened. Format. Let's close that. Format on save. Right. So. Yep. So I have a user manage here. Let's try it out. So yeah, so I'm on the /manage, and this is showing user manage. Right. So when you log in as Julian admin, and click on that button, bring you to here. And right now this page is available for everyone. We're gonna limit this page is only available for administrators. Right, so only otherwise we're gonna navigate it back to your profile. You shouldn't be allowed to here. Navigate back to the login page actually. Ask you to log in as an administrator there. Right? Let's see. We need a component did mount to check in if the user is an administrator. So let's put it this one here. Copy the first few lines, so just first part. Let's just copy that part. And let me see our scripts here. So is logged in. Wait for this property to logged in. if it's true, if he's not logged in, we'll push that to the login page. All right. And also we want to checking if you are logged in as an administrator. So we also want to check something. This one is checking if you are logged in. We also want to check if you are logged in as a administrator. Let me see how do I check it. Yeah, I think the best way here is we rewrite the is logged in function. Actually, yeah. App.js here is logged in is always returns a boolean, either true or false. Actually, let's just ask it to return the rest of data. Right, rewrite it a little bit. So that means we have to rewrite a little bit what we did yesterday. So right now the login function is not gonna return either true or false. It returns what coming back from the server. So if we are logged in, it's gonna return the. Let me show you the server. It's gonna return the user information. Right, logged in is here. Right, so if we are authenticated, if we are logged in, it returns the user information. Otherwise, it returns 0. Right, either return 0 or user information. So in the pages, we're only checking if they're logged in the profile here. We're checking if the is logged in is not equal to 0. Then we'll navigate it back. This is in the profile. And same thing for other pages. We're not going to check just say not is logged in. We're checking if that is not 0. Actually, it should be if that is 0. Sorry. So if that is 0, that means we haven't logged in. So we'll navigate the user back to the login page. Make sense? All right. Let's keep going. So for the website list, same thing. So we're going to checking if it's logged in, give 0 0. We'll navigate you to the login page. Let's try it. Let's try to see if that works. Just change it. Maybe you can break something. This purpose logged in is not a function. I think this is in the user management. Yeah, something wrong with that. This with user management. Source user management. Yeah. For this one, let's comment that out for a second. I just want to test the new function we just changed. Let's go back to the login page. Let's try to log in as Alice login, and it works. And let me copy the URL path here, log out, and just trying to hack into it without logging. I should navigate me back to login. That allows me to go there, right? So if I just try to change it here, navigate me back to login. Then it allows me to go there. So everything's still working. All right, let's go ahead working on the same thing for the Udemy admin page, right? So for this one, yeah, so we're gonna check if the user is logged in. Logged in is equal to 0. If that equals to 0, we navigate it back. And I also want to check if the user is, is not administrator. So check if you are not admin. So if is logged in, the role not equals to admin, then we also want to navigate you back. Right, just do the same thing. So if you are not logged in, we navigate you back. If you're not admin, we navigate you back. So do double check here. So if your role is not admin, we navigate you back. Let's try it out. So right now, if I go to Udemy admin, did I put it wrong? Udemy admin. Okay. So when I click that button, that's fine. I can still see this page. Oh, I'm getting an arrow. What's wrong with that? This props logged in. is not a function. Did I put it wrong here? Let's see. Exact is misspelled. Exact. And let's say here, logged in. N here should be lowercase. Okay. Let's try it again. So ulm admin ulm admin. Okay. Click on the manage user, and it works. Right, I can go to this page. Let's copy this URL path here. Let's try to log in as another user trying to hack into it. So right now, if I do not log it in, I log it out, directly go to there, it's going to bring me back. That allows me to go there. And if I log in as Alice, alright, now if I try to go into here, it also doesn't allow me to go there. It's going to never get me back. Because Alice is not administrator. It's going to ask me to log in as an administrator account. So I have to log in as Julian admin. Just ulm admin. Right, so now if I just go to the page, it will allow me to go there. Right, it allows me to go there. And also I can go there by clicking this button here. This button is only available for the ulm admin user. for the administrator. And now let's rewrite. Let's adding something to this page and showing something. Right, so let's adding a navbar here. Let me copy the navbar from profile. I'm just later to rewrite it. Navbar here. Let's copy that. Let me close the page we're not going to use anymore. Right, use a yeah. So for this one, just put the navbar here. This one is user management, and we don't need a check button. Get rid of that. We do need a back button. Let's bring a back button from website list. There's a back button over there. Just copy things. I have link here. Let's copy that. We do need a back button. Do need a back button. Link to the user. We don't have UID anymore. That's kind of annoying. We don't have ID here. Yeah, we may need to change the URL path here. Let's actually. Well, just for easy, just go back to the login page. We'll go back to the login page, and we don't need a check button here. Let's get rid of that. A link is not defined. We're gonna import a link here. Import a link from React router path. React. What is that? From is misspelled. From React router down. Router down. So yeah, it's gonna ask me to log in again. Come on. Right, so I'll move that to the middle. So to do that, it's just adding another span on the right and an empty span on the right. Right. It's gonna ask me to log in again. I'm gonna log in again later. So let's adding other things into it. Actually, I have a list here to show the list of all the users, right? And then I can check in all the users, and I can delete some user account if I don't want there. And also let's adding a footer. Let's adding a footer. Footer, I have it from here. The profile footer. Why this user 123? It shouldn't be 123 here. It should be the real user's profile. Oh God. I'm gonna using another way to do it. This one actually. So we have the is logged in here. I can grab it from the is logged in. Let's have a state here. State user, which is just empty object. This stands for the current logged in user, and is logged in here. We're gonna say await. Actually, not here. Here, I'm gonna do it here. If if it's logged in the role or the main, that's his code. Let's say await, not await, just this save state. Let's say states the user is equals to this is logged in. All right, that is user information we grab from server. So I got the user information from there. Now I know the user information. So this back button I can bring it back to /user /user.id. Right, bring him back to his profile. And the same thing for this link here. Just copy the same link for the profile button. Same thing here. This one is not correct. And this one should be back to the. They shouldn't do anything because we're already in the profile. So let's just make it as a span. Doesn't need to be anything. This is a footer inside the profile. Yep. This is a user icon inside profile. So it doesn't need to be anything. What's wrong with here? So yep. So the user here, user management, the user is not defined. So we're going to do a destructuring here. Actually, the return here needs a parenthesis. Make it looks better, right? Actually, I'd like to put that here. Yep.
Why do you need the parentheses?
You don't have to, but I just put a 1 to make it looks clear, so I know like this is from here to here. Now that's kind of like you don't have to need it. Just make it just sometimes like the semicolon. You don't have to have it. Just make it more readable. Right? Just make it more readable. And the user is not defined because we need to tell it user should be from this state. So let's do a destruction here. Says constant user is from this state. I'm gonna solve that issue. Alright, so we have the navbar and the footer, and we want to get in the list of users. Right, list of users. Let me fix the indent here. Right, we need a list of users. We're going to put it between the two navbars. So let's say we're going to put a container here. Div with container class, and put a list list with a class list group. Right, and then here we need the data for all the users. And I don't think we have that function on the server side to give us all the users we need. So we're going to create that function over there to ask it to give us all the users we need. Let's save this here for now. Let's go to the server side to create that function to request for all the users. All right, so let's go to the user server here. Let's create a function to give us all the users information. Let's put that at the end. All right, so find all users. So it's going to be app.get /API/users. Just give me all the users, please. And let's put async request response. Alright, do this. So it's going to give all the users just constant data is equal to await user model find all user. Find all users and the rest JSON data. Alright, so we actually don't have this find all users functions yet. We're going to go to the user model to create that function to find all users. Right, so let's go to the models, user model, to create that function. Find all users. So user capitalize U, user model dot find all users. It takes nothing and just return user model dot find. That find going to returns every data for us. Yeah, find. If you do not put any condition, just like a just like a Mongo user the find, db the user find, just find all the information for you, and it's gonna return everything to the client, right? After the get all the information to the client. Okay, let's go to the client user manage page to finish that part, right? So in the component did mount, like after this page is loading, I want to also initialize the information, getting information from the server. So in the state, let's have a users here, which is an array of users, right? All the user information inside it, empty array. And inside here, after the state is finished, we also waiting for this one to be done. We also want to do another thing here. Is await. Let's send our request to asking for all the information for the user. So wait. Actually, it should be constant res is equal to await access imported the get /API/users. It's gonna give me all the informations. And then we're using sys.setState. Users is equal to the rest data. That is all the information, user information inside it. Actually, it should give me all the users data inside it. Access is not defined. Let me import it. Import access from library access. I need some semicolon here. Why do I have two user manage file here? What? Looks like the same. Yeah. Let me don't save it. Reopen it. Something wrong with it. Yeah. Access is imported, and access is here. Yeah. So state users equal to rest data. Let's actually console.log it. Console.log rest data. See if it's giving me all the user information here. I'm gonna try to it. admin login management users. Right here, array of 12 users, all the user information inside here. Right. So let's display this array on the screen right now. Right. Get rid of this console log. We don't need that anymore. Let's display that on the screen. So we have a URL here. Inside here, let's do a map here, right? Just like when we map the website list, map the page list. Here we do another map the user list. So it's going to be, let's do a destruction here. Constant. The users is also from state. So here we're going to say users the map. Map takes a function. So it's going to be for each user inside here. What I want to do here is, actually I don't need a parenthesis because there's only one variable. I want to return the list item. List item with class name is list group item. And inside it, I want to display the user username. Use the username. Say it. Try it. admin login. Right. So I have all the users with this username here. See that? Everything, each child in the list should have a unique key here. So let's give it a key. For each item, this item have a key attribute, which we can give a unique value. It can be user the ID. ID is unique. Right. So now we are displaying the list items, all the names for them, all the users name for it. Login, user manager. Here are all the users I have in my database. And I also want to be able to delete them. So if anyone I don't want in the account there, I will click on that to delete that. So let's create a delete button inside here. So in the same place, in the same list item, let's create a button. In this button, just say let's put X inside it, and let's say class name btn danger, make it red, and float it to the right. Right, so float it to the right. Admin admin and users. It's a cross button. If I don't like you, I just click this cross button to delete you. Right, I can delete you. So let's create this function. To create a function like for the unclick, when I click it, delete the user. Alright, when I click it, delete the user. So this button, let's create a unclick here. This is delete. The bind this, and also the user's ID. We know which one delete. It's just a way like we delete the page or the website. Let's delete. The bind this and the user ID. Right. Let's create this this delete function. On the top here, delete is a function takes the ID and do something here. Let's see how we want to do it. Constant res is equal to await Excel star delete slash API slash user, and the pass in the, actually we're going to use the backticks here. Pass in the, I also want to pass in the ID inside here. I'll delete this user with such ID. And this is the set state. I need to reset the state. Actually, I don't need constant here, just wait for this one to be done. And we also need to remove that from the state. So we're gonna do constant new users is equal to the state, the users, the filter. And the filter out the ones we don't need. Filter takes a function. For each user, I only want the ones that user the ID is not equal to the ID. This needs to be async because I have a wait here. And then we do this set state. Users equal to this new users. Right, for this file, be careful about the user and the users. Right, for the user, we'll never update it, just the current login user, and the users is array of all the users. Right. I think that's good enough. And we also need to go ahead and go to server side to create this delete function. Right, let's go to server side. Delete user app.delete slash API slash users user slash ID. That's the placeholder. The thing. Request a response. Right. Let's constant data equals to await user model dot delete user, and takes the ID. I need to get in the ID, so constant ID is equal to request params and ID. I think this is where we get it. Delete. Yeah, request the params ID. Yeah, getting the ID from it, and call the delete user and read the JSON the data. All right. So that's almost like just the same format as this one. Same thing. User model. Let's go ahead and create this data user function in the user model, so you can see how those files are connected to each other. So delete user model dot delete user is equal to a function that takes the ID and returns user model dot delete one. Delete one with ID is equal to the ID. I think that's good. Let's try it out. All right, try it out. So if go to the ulian admin management, let's try to delete Alice. Let's delete Alice. Actually, let's delete Bob. I want to keep Alice here. Let's delete Bob. Right, Bob is gone here. If I refresh a page, it's coming back. So it's not actually deleted from the database. It's just deleted from here. It's still in the database. Why? The delete one is not working. Oh, here I forgot to pass in the ID here. I need to have ID here to pass into the user model so it can get the ID here. Let's try it. Refresh the page should log me out. Yeah. So ulian admin management. Bob, delete. Refresh it. It's not coming back. So in the database, Bob is here right now. Let's refresh the page. I think Bob is gone. What delete it, right? So you can also use that to delete some account like empty ones, like this one, Yeah. And maybe I want to delete 111, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's something I want to delete. Yeah. So I will just create a user manager so they can manage all the users. Alright, that's it. And that's it for this assignment. So we're talking about how to guarantee the page is only available for the logged in user, and also talk about how to make sure the page is only available for the administrator, and something like the button is only available for such a user with a specific role. And also we talked about how to encrypt your password, right? Encrypt your password. That's the basic stuff you need to do for your website to encrypt, to make sure the user's information are security. Okay. So I'm gonna stop recording and upload.